What's up, everybody? John Graves Kayak Fishing coming to you from somewhere here in Central Florida. It's winter outside. It's 55 degrees windy, and we got our bubble coats on. When I had the opportunity to move down here to Florida from Cincinnati and take on a position with the American Tackle Company, it was literally baptism by fire in the world of fishing rod construction, fishing rod design, the sales, the trade. And let me tell you something, man, that business is huge. And most definitely an international business that extends to every corner of the planet. A custom rod builder or designer, whether they are a small mom and pop shop that's doing repairs up in Cape Cod or New Jersey or out in California, or the hobbyist that's hanging out in his garage, up in northern Indiana or the hills of Tennessee, all the way to major companies that are producing thousands of rods per year for those big box stores and the online sales. These builders and designers have choices of thousands of different parts to use for the construction of the rod that is being designed and produced for market. Just to start out with are the many types of rod blanks that are being used. Blanks that are used for trout fishing up in Montana, or a bass fishing rod blank used for pulling big 10-pounders out of the thick mats in Okeechobee. There are spin casting rods and blanks needed for those for inshore chasing trophy red, speckled trout, snook. 9-foot long carp rods that are used over in Europe, or an 18-foot multi-piece blank that's needed for a crappie spider rig, up to, big E-glass tuna blanks for those big fish offshore. Not to mention the ice fishing rod blanks that are made for those anglers up north that just can't seem to get enough. There is a lot to choose from. And then not to mention the cosmetics of that fishing rod being built, what color of thread or what type of grip material that you're going to use, whether it's EVA or a cork or now carbon fiber. And then on to what kind of guides are needed for that particular rod build. Now, I know that sounds pretty overwhelming, but to build your own custom rod, one needs only to stick to just a few fundamentals used in basic crafts and model building. For example, let's start out with the blank. I've chosen for the next rod build that I'm going to be doing, this is an SJ833 MHX blank. It's 6 foot, 11 inches long. It's an 8 to 12 pound line class. It has a beautiful fast action, and it has the medium power that I'm looking for. This blank can be used for drop shot, wacky rig, shaky heads, twitch baits, live baits. I am building this as a top water rod. It weighs only 2.1 ounce. However, I have cut 2 inches off of the butt end, making this blank a little lighter and measuring now at 6 foot 9 inches long. It works better for me in the confined space of a kayak, and by cutting 2 inches off of the butt end, you will not affect the original working powers and intentions of this rod, but definitely taking 2 inches off of the tip section will do that. Now, for the parts, because without the parts, the components, that blank is just a stick. So let's start out with the reel seat. I am building this up as a spin casting rod, so for this I decided to go with the American Tackle CCT Dagger reel seat, one of my favorites. It's made from a compressed carbon, and that offers a much lighter weight, super sensitive feel, and not to mention just how absolutely cool this reel seat looks. You can pair this thing up with an EVA foam grip or a cork. I'm going to go with the cork. Now, matching the cork grip up with a cork 2-inch fighting butt to go down at the end of the rod. For the guide set, I am going with the light duty CRB laser spinning guides. They are ultra lightweight. They have a beautiful zirconium ring that offers a much larger opening. It increases my distance and the accuracy for the casting of that lure, and it also reduces line tangles while casting. These come in a polished frame, a Gunsmoke, or the black. I'm choosing to murder that out. It also comes in this really cool box there. Now, we can't forget to match a tip top up to the guide set, and then you're going to match up your hook keeper and whatever's chosen. To finish the build off, we will place some decorative winding checks there, and of course, I'm going to go with some metallic and some black thread right there. Now, I notice every day, absolutely every day on social media, that the money that is being poured into kayak rigs with the expensive electronics, most often the cost of these things like fish finders, power poles, lights, motors, action, camera, and the cost of the batteries far outweigh what the kayak costs itself. And while all of these things may improve your success, the one thing we seem to overlook is the fishing rod itself. For without a fishing rod, all of the other things that we put money into, including the kayak, is absolutely useless. So building a fishing rod yourself can be done, and I highly recommend you doing it. Mudhole has online or in-person rod building classes. These courses only cost like $199. Your instructors are absolute pros. They've been in the business for a long time. These classes come with absolutely all the equipment and the materials that you will need to build your very first rod. In-person classes are held parts here and there all around the country. Check them out at mudhole.com. And the online classes are held like a couple times a month. You can get all the info that you need for these classes, again, at mudhole.com. The rod building classes make great gifts for yourself or for that angler in your life. And believe me, when I tell you this, that understanding how a rod is built and constructed will absolutely improve your fishing. So what are you waiting for? And please tell them that John Graves Kayak Fishing sent you.